Guys, welcome back to World Illuminate 11. I hope you're doing well today and welcome if it is your first time checking out my channel. And if it is your first time checking out the channel, then please do hit the subscribe button. You are very welcome here. So for this video, I am going to talk about surrender. Surrender when it comes to the twin flame journey. This is something that we hear about all the time, how important it is for you as a divine feminine to surrender on this journey. And you hear about it all the time. I've written a blog post about surrender as well. And it's something that tends to come in, but I really feel that it's something that is not easy for the divine feminine to grasp when it comes to the to what surrender truly is when it comes to the journey. So I'm really being guided to talk about this. It's going to be whatever messages are coming through, and also to try and break it down a bit so that we can really try to understand what surrender is, or what it involves, and the things that you may be needing to work on as well for yourself, or you may have done certain parts of it, but there are other things that you are needing to work on when it comes to surrender. And surrender is not just something that you can just do and then you feel like, oh, I've done my surrender part and something should now just happen. The angels are saying this is actually a stage of the journey that in itself has stages as well. It's a stage within the twin flame journey that is stages of surrender, and it is ongoing as well when it comes to surrender. You don't just do surrender. You don't just do surrender and then it's done and you expect something else to happen. You keep working on it when it comes to your journey. And this is something that I've really realized for myself as well. When I started surrendering or working on surrender, I was like, I've surrendered, and then realized that there's more to it. And I constantly go back to myself and I constantly observe myself, see what is going on with me, see where else I can surrender even more, because I realize that it's not something that you can just do and it's done, and and it's the next stage of your journey moves. So at the weekend, I got an email from one of our soul sisters who was talking about surrender, how she had actually now finally got it, and it's something that's not easy to grasp, and it's also the hardest part of the twin flame journey, and it's so easy when people just say surrender and you hear it, but it's actually the hardest part when it comes to this journey. And then yesterday, one of our soul sisters also commented, and they were talking about surrender as well. And as I was reading that comment, the message that really came through from the angels was that this is something to really talk about, because this is a message for the collective. It's something that a lot of divine feminines tend to struggle with when it comes to this journey. And I say this because I'm on this journey as well, and I have struggled as well with surrender. It's something that I've really had to keep working on, and I continue to keep working on it as well. So I have written down some notes as I was guided, and I will be referring to this. But just to also read the message that came through yesterday, it said, I've surrendered enough. I've surrendered long enough now by doing myself, and I've been patient long enough now. And the angels are saying, even within that statement, if you are as a divine feminine and you are feeling that within yourself, and it's okay to feel that, there are reasons why you are feeling that within yourself. But it's okay, and it's okay to feel that it's something that you have to work through for yourself. But within that statement itself of saying, I've surrendered long enough now and I've been patient long enough now, the angels are saying within that there is the need to surrender as well. So I will get to that as we are moving forward on this. So the first note that I have is surrender. And I've put some points to remind myself. But like I said, it's the hardest stage when it comes to this journey. And it's not something that you can rush. It's not something that you can force. It's not something that you can say, I've surrendered and it's done, and now the next part of my journey should happen. It's actually something that is ongoing, and you can't force it. It's all part of the growth. It's all part of you learning. It's all part of you diving deeper into yourself as well and working on yourself. So you can't just say I've done it and things should now move forward and nothing is happening. It is actually part of the growth journey that you are on as well. And the twin flame journey is a journey. You come from the moment, from the time where you are broken into pieces, when your divine masculine walks away, and we've all been there. And there is so much pain, sleepless nights, the worries, the fears, you are in pain, and you go through all that, and it's such a difficult time for you. And then you keep moving forward on your journey. You keep moving forward, and you start to get stronger. And at that time, you just want it all to end. You just want them so much. And but you start to grow in yourself, and you start moving forward. You start to learn that it is about you focusing on yourself, and you also learn on this journey that, for you to get into union, you have to focus on yourself. So you start to focus on yourself, you start to work on yourself. And this is where I feel that the message was coming through, by saying, I've surrendered long enough now by doing myself. And but also, the surrender is not about giving up. That's the other message that's coming through here. Surrender is not about giving up when it comes to your journey. And you don't give up, because this is a divine love. It's, you and your divine masculine always have that love. And you came here so that you could work on yourselves and help each other to heal, so that you can get to the place where you come into union and do the mission that you are here to do. So it's not, a surrender is not about giving up on your journey. It's about really getting to a place of acceptance. So that's the first part of surrender, acceptance. I'm just breaking it all down into the way that I've been given, surrender, to try and help it to be easier to understand for others as well. So it's about acceptance. And that's when you get to accept that you are on this twin flame journey. You accept that you have this love with your divine masculine, and there's nothing that you can do to sort of, run away from it, or, and it is about you getting to that place of acceptance that I am on this journey. I love my divine masculine. I will always have this deep love for them. And, and you accept that, this is your path. And then you start to let go of expectations, to let go of control, trying to control the journey, to wanting things to happen a certain way at a certain time. You start to be in that place of accepting that this journey is about learning to release expectations, to release control. And and also you get to a place of acceptance that the journey will take as long as it is meant to take. And this is such a hard one for us all divine feminines, but that is the truth when it comes to this journey. You have to get to a place of surrender to the fact that this journey will take as long as it is meant to take for your own journey. And and if you're still holding on to how long it's been, or how long will it be, when will it be, focusing so much on the time, you're being asked to surrender that. That's the other message that's coming through. It's about acceptance of the fact that it will all come in when it is meant to come in. So you have to surrender the time, and or being in a place of worry about running out of time. When will it happen? The angels are saying you have to surrender all that. Surrender and be in a place of acceptance about the way that the time that it is taking, that fact that it will come in when it is meant to come in. And that is a really hard one, because as divine feminines, we want to be with our divine masculines. You're wanting to have a family. There's all these things, but the angels are saying it has to be about you getting to a place of surrendering to the fact that it will come in when it is meant to come in. So that's also about that acceptance as well. And then the next message that we have here is focusing on you. And this is what our soul sister said here: I've surrendered long enough by doing myself. And focusing on you is when you are on your twin flame journey. So your twin flame journey is this ongoing journey. You've gone through all the tough times, and you're getting better, you're getting stronger, you're starting to focus on you, and starting to do you. And it's a continuous journey, where you start to surrender, and you keep moving forward, and then you get to that physical union comes in as well. But then even then you are still continuing on your journey. So there is no ending destination. It's like a journey that is continuous. But during this part of the journey, as you're surrendering, you're starting to focus on you. That's about taking your focus away from what your divine masculine is doing on the 3D or not doing, where they are, their life. You put all the focus on you. So you start to focus on you. You start to do you. You start doing your own journey, which is what our soul sister was saying here. By I've surrendered long enough by doing myself, and that's about not focusing on your twin or what they're doing or not doing. And and then the next message that has come through is about that doing myself. I've surrendered long enough by doing myself. The angels are saying that that is focusing on you, and that is the right thing to do for you as a divine feminine. But the message that came through for me was about intention. When it comes to your surrender, it's about checking in with the intention that you have for doing you. And and intention is very important, and it is very powerful. When you have set an intention, because you are a powerful divine being, you are going to bring in the things that you desire because of that intention that you have given out to the universe. So it's so important that that many people actually miss the fact that their intention when it comes to doing themselves is actually it could just be because the intention is that I am going to do myself. It's part of this journey. I'm going to do myself so that my divine masculine can contact me, can come to me, that union can happen. And the message is, we all start there. This journey is a journey of growth, and we all start there. When we all find out as divine feminines that that is how you get to union, you physical union, you have to work on yourself. You have to do all these things. You start off in a place where you are doing it. And I did exactly that. I started thinking, oh, I've got to do this. If I do all these things, then my divine masculine will come in. And my intention at the time was really not about myself. The intention for what I was doing at the time was just so my divine masculine could come back. Was just so I could get that communication, was so I could, this would happen. And if it doesn't happen like that, and you get into the place where you're saying, I've surrendered long enough, but this has still not happened, the angels are saying, then your intention has an expectation as well. You're expecting that the doing yourself is what is just going to bring them in, whenever it is that you're wanting them to come in. But you have to look at your intention for doing yourself. And you start from that place where your intention is really just about your divine masculine coming back. And you start to grow in yourself as you move forward on your journey. The next stage of you and your intention for surrender and doing you becomes you. And and that's where you really have to start to realize that your intention for doing yourself is really for you, and you start to put yourself first. You start to realize that my intention for focusing on me, your intention for focusing on you is actually for you to move forward on your journey, for you to move forward on your ascension path, for you to be there to do your mission, for you to live your purpose, for you to live your life in joy and happiness, and to find your own joy, to enjoy every single day, to fill up your own inner cup, and with unconditional love for yourself. Your intention has to get to a point where it changes when it comes to this surrender. So you have surrendered, you're focusing on yourself, but the intention underneath, that focus on yourself has to move forward to just being about you, because you realize that you are the most important person in your life. So you start to focus, you're focusing on you is now about you. It's not just about getting to union, because union is actually something that comes in as the icing on the cake of the work that you're doing. The cake is what you're doing for yourself. All the work that you're doing for you to help you on your ascension, because the twin flame journey is an ascension path, and it is there to help you to move forward on your path, to help you to work on healing yourself. So, the work that you're doing for yourself is the cake, in a way, and that is what is there to help you to then be able to get to union. So your intention for your surrender, for your intention for focusing on yourself needs to then move from just being about getting to union with your divine masculine coming back to you, that intention really being about you. And it has to be a pure intention that comes from deep within. So the message that was coming through here was that, it's about knowing that this is a journey of growth. And you do start with that intention, and we all do, of just wanting it to be for your divine masculine to then come back to you. But we grow on the journey. Your intention changes to you actually doing this for yourself. You realizing that this is a journey of the self. This is a journey of you moving forward on your ascension path. So you start to move your surrender and your intention for doing yourself to really being about you. And and the more you are focusing on loving your life and doing you, and it's coming from that pure intention of you, just really wanting to shine your light even brighter, you wanting to do your mission, you wanting to be of service, you just really wanting to live the life that is full of joy, the life that you enjoy, then you've moved your surrender to the next stage. I hope that is making sense. And and that is all part of the growth. And that's where the angels were saying it's not something that you can just rush. It's actually something that you have to grasp from deep within and work on yourself as part of your growth. So when it came to the message of I've surrendered long enough now by doing myself, but my divine masculine has not come in yet, for example, then the angels are saying your intention for surrendering has to be for you to move forward on your path, and that has to come from deep within, and it's all part of the journey. So that was the next message that was coming through. It's about checking in with yourself to see what your intention right now when it comes to your journey has your intention moved to that part where you are doing this for you? You are focusing on you for you to grow on your path, to ascend, on your spiritual journey, to really shine your light bright. And obviously know that, in everything that you're doing for yourself, that is helping your union to come in. Your intention is about filling up your own cup and getting into that place of inner union for yourself. And it's an intention that comes from within. And if you're not quite there yet, then there is still some growing that is happening within you for you to get to that place. So that's the message that's coming through. And if you're not quite there yet, then it's about having love and compassion for yourself. Knowing that you are on this journey of growth, you are continuing to keep growing. And and it's okay to be where you are right now when it comes to your journey, or where you are when it comes to the intention of why you're focusing on you, for example. So your intention for surrender right now, it's about you knowing that wherever you are on your journey, that's where you are meant to be. It's all part of the growth, and it's about really continuing to keep moving forward. And and you will be moving forward as well on your path. And surrender is ongoing. As I said, it's not something that just happens and you say it's done. Like I said, I'm continuing to keep working on myself. I'm constantly observing myself to see where I may really not be surrendering, where I may just need to surrender that little bit more, and and continuing to work on myself. And then the next message that came out is you can't bypass surrender. It's not something that you can bypass and just be like, I've done my work and things should move forward. It's not something that you can bypass or fluke it. You have to be in surrender in yourself. It's actually something that has to happen within you. It's not just something that you can just say, oh, I've done it, so things should move forward. It has to actually, it has to come from deep within. And for it to come from deep within, that's about you continuing to keep working on your own growth, continuing to keep observing what's going on with you, continuing to keep working on yourself. And, and surrender, the big thing about surrender is that it's also about surrendering from your ego. So that's what I mean by you have to keep working on yourself, because your ego is always there. It's always there bringing in the fears, the doubts, the worries. It's about observing what's going on with you. So you're learning to surrender from your ego and to really sort of start moving forward into observing what is going on with you. and really knowing that you have the whole of heaven by your side as well. So it's surrendering to your path no matter how long it may be taking. So it's surrendering to your path no matter how long it may be taking. And if you are in a place where you start to feel like, oh, I've surrendered long enough and nothing is happening, I've been patient long enough and nothing is happening, then the angels are saying it's about diving deeper into that, because within that, there is that need to surrender more. There is that ego coming up that is bringing in, they are like, sort of fears coming up saying, I've done it and nothing is happening. So there is that sort of condition that's coming up of, I've done this for this long and why is nothing happening? And it's about releasing that. It's about releasing the expectations. So that's where the surrendering from your ego comes in. So there's a lot of parts that are included or involved when it comes to surrender, is the message that that was coming through. And then and it's also about realizing that your twin flame connection is spiritual. It's about you focusing on that union within. You get to that place of inner union, finding that union within first, and that is what will bring in that union on the outside. So it's always about coming back to yourself, working on yourself, releasing the doubts, releasing the fears, and really getting more into a place of faith, knowing that you are working on this journey with the Creator. You're not doing this journey alone, and faith is the most important thing to help you on your journey of surrender. And when you have faith, that's when you are giving it all to the Creator. You're surrendering it to the Creator, and you have faith that it will all come in at the right time. So you release all the fears, you release all the doubts, and you surrender, knowing that union will happen whenever it is meant to happen. And because you have the Creator there to bring it in for you, and you trust the universe to bring it in. So you're starting to feel it. So if you're starting to feel it will never happen, then you are doubting and needing to work on your faith and trust. That's the message that was coming through. So if you're starting to feel like, oh, it's never going to happen, and all these things, then there is some doubt that is coming in for you. And it's about diving deeper. It's always about going within, looking within yourself, seeing where the ego is coming in, taking you away from your faith, taking you away from knowing that this journey will come in when it is meant to, in the right divine timing. So it's always about going back to your faith. So surrender is really about faith, and it's also about acceptance, and it's about being in that place of going with the flow when it comes to your journey as well. And then the message that came through from one of our soul sisters, there were two parts that I just really wanted to share as well, because I really feel that this is really important. There was an article that our soul sister read, and one of the points that came out in there was surrender. Surrender is all about when you are thinking of your twin, because you can never stop thinking about your twin flame. You can't stop thinking about them. The thoughts come in. You have the love for them. They're thinking about you. You're thinking about them. You're mirroring each other. So you're always thinking about them. So surrender, you think about them, but you're no longer craving them. You're no longer in that place of having so much sadness because they're not there with you. You're no longer in that place of craving to be with them. Otherwise your life can't move on, or, you get out of the energy of craving. That is where surrender is. You get out of the place of craving, and you are really sort of in a place of faith. So you get out of the craving and you get more into a place of faith. Faith that union is going to come in at the right time, and you get out of that sad feeling of not being with them because you've surrendered. So when you have surrendered, that sad feeling that they're not with you, it goes as well. And these are actually codes of things that I got from that article. That sad feeling of not being with them, it goes away because you've surrendered. And you've surrendered because to the fact that and you have faith that it will come in the right divine timing. You will be in union in the right divine timing. You understand that they are your twin, that you will be together when the time is right. So you have faith that it will happen. and you've surrendered. It's not even a sad feeling happening within you. In fact, you have this sort of joy in that knowledge that at the right time is going to come in, and you're living your life, you're loving your life, you're living your life in joy, and and you are trusting that union will happen. So that's the point. Those are the points of surrender. So it's about releasing that craving, that pining for them, just really wanting them to be around you, and the sad feeling that comes with not seeing them in the physical, and knowing that the union, you already have that union, and having faith that that union is going to come in the right divine timing. So you start living your life in joy, and you trust that union will happen, when it is meant to happen, and it will happen because it was truly meant to be. So that's the message that was coming through when it comes to surrender, that it is stages that you go through, and it's about working on surrendering your ego, giving the struggle to the Creator, continuing to keep working on yourself, seeing where your ego is coming up, where it starts bringing in the fears about, I'm going to end up alone, I'm never going to be with them, they're never going to come back. Those are things that you need to keep working on. Keep working on surrendering that part, away from that ego that brings in all those fears. So it's an ongoing process of surrender, and it's all part of the journey to help you to be able to move forward on your path. So it's not something that you can just do and think, oh, I've done it, I've surrendered, things should move forward. You continue to keep working on yourself. It's about you doing you, and also working on yourself. It's always about going within. That's the message that's really coming through from the angels, that surrender is actually about you going within and working on yourself, and then doing your life, doing the things that you love, loving your life. And you love your life more by being in a place of surrender, being in the place of letting go of the fears and the struggles when it comes to the journey and the doubts, and being more in a place of faith. So I just really wanted to explain surrender in a different way, because we just always hear the word surrender, and sometimes it's really difficult to grasp it, but it comes in fully for you as a divine feminine, but you continue to keep working on it. When you are really in a place where you're not craving your divine masculine anymore, you're not in a place of having sadness within because they're not there with you, and and you're not just living your life so that that union can come in. You're living your life and enjoying your life in this present moment, knowing and having faith that that union will come in at the right time. So you are in this place of loving your life, and everything is not just about you focusing on when that union will come in. You trust it will come in at the right time. You trust in the divine, because the divine gave you this life and this love in the first place, and the divine will bring it in for you at the right time, and it is all happening. So when it comes to surrender, it's about continuing to keep working on yourself, and that's the message that was coming through. So I really hope that helps someone somehow, and I've written a blog post about surrender as well. And if you have any questions about it, you're very welcome to ask. I will do my best to answer it, but I try to break it down so that you can understand that it's more about you working on yourself and growing within yourself. And, it's not just done, and you have to keep seeing where you need to surrender your ego more, where you need to keep working on the things that are bringing in the fear when it comes to yourself, making you feel like I need to give up, or I can't, it's never going to happen. All these things, those are actually signs coming in from within, that there's still things that you need to work on within yourself. It's always about going within to get to the place of finding that inner union. Because when you're filling up your own cup, when you get to the place of inner union, that is what is going to bring in your outer union. And it is coming in for you. Trust in the divine, trust in divine timing, and let go of the when and, the timing that it is taking or it has taken. And just really sort of keep working on you, on doing you and enjoying your life, knowing and having faith that it is all coming in the right divine timing. So I hope that really helps somebody out there. I'll see you on the next video. Love, peace, positivity, and light.